Hi everyone, did you notice something off on this page? Some of you might have already caught it. I'll talk about it at the end of this video. This week, I bought jam from Japanese convenience store 7-Eleven again. The topic that particularly caught my attention was this one. What is the D? We thought we might learn more about the D, but that has been postponed once again. Oda-sensei mentioned that the story of One Piece would conclude when we understand what the One Piece truly is. It's likely that D is closely connected to this One Piece. Hi, welcome back to this secret channel. I'm Lunapienart, a Japanese translator who runs this channel, Dusk. In this video, I'll be explaining the chapter 1117 from the perspective of the Japanese native speaker. On this manga One Piece, we can find the wordplay which Oda-sensei loves, and the phrases that are difficult to translation. That's why I started to share my opinion and my thought on this channel. But I'm also interested to hearing your opinion and your thoughts from your perspective or your language. So I'm waiting your comments. D の名を持つ者たちへ、お前さんたちの中にも。On the first page, Hachinos is depicted, but what caught my attention more than Gin or Pearl was this pirate's remark. The whole world isn't the Golden Land. He's using the term 黄金郷, Golden Land. This term hasn't been used since Jaya and Skypiea. And on this page, we can see Cricket, who once sought the Golden Land. Oda-sensei often uses flashbacks or related characters from the past stories as hints for the current storyline. There's another interesting wordplay here. Mont Blanc Cricket's name in Japanese is written like this, Mont Blanc Cricket. The pronunciation kuri means chestnut, le marron in French, and he has a chestnut on his head. Another character in One Piece with this katakana, kuri, is Creek. Yes, the pronunciation of creek is creek in Japanese. We can see him on this page. And Creek's armor shone with gold. Cricket dove into the sea in search of gold. There's also a place called Kuri in One Piece. Do you remember where? It's one of the regions on Wano country that Oden ruled. Wano country was originally known as the land of gold. So, Kuri and gold always appear together. Additionally, this chestnut character always talks about romance, which is another of Oda-sensei's wordplays. Yes, this chestnut, marron, evokes roman, which means romance. In Japanese, romance does just mean love, but also refers to a strong longing for dreams and adventures. Therefore, the gold that this chestnut character sought represents the wealth, the part of wealth, fame, power that describes One Piece. That's why I think romance, gold, and One Piece will be connected together. Additionally, another pirate says, so there's treasure lying at the bottom of the sea all over the world? The first mention of treasures at the bottom of the sea in One Piece came from Buggy. While it's still uncertain whether the great treasure One Piece is located underwater, it's certain that immense treasure remain in the sunken continents. They also mention ships that can dive underwater, and there have been several submarines featured in the series. First is Rose Polar Tank. It was completely destroyed during the conflict with the Blackbeard pirates. However, they might have seen the sunken continent. Perhaps this led Law to join the 7 warlords of the sea to access the world government's information about the Boys' Century. Next is the Thousand Sunny's Soldier Dog System, Channel 3, which houses the Shark Submerged 3. This was used for infiltration during the Whole Cake Island arc and exploration of Fishman Island. It reached a depth of 5,000 meters during this time. Since they dove near the wet line, they were able to reach that depth. If they had used this submarine in other parts of the Grand Line, they might have discovered the giant continent that sank due to the 200-meter sea level rise. It's not just the pirates who are reacting to the possibility of the world sinking into the sea, but also this organization, SWORD. これつまりよ、一つなぎの大秘宝、ワンピースってよ。Helmeppo, in particular, suspects that the Great Treasure One Piece might be related to a sunken world. なるよな。あっちゃならねえ答えが出そうだ。So what is the conclusion they fear the most? It's likely that the justice upheld by the world government will be overturned. Until now, the Navy has deemed pirates seeking One Piece as evil and has continually captured them. However, the possibility has arisen that finding One Piece might actually lead to saving the world's people. The current world is shaped by the ideology of the world government. In contrast, Joy Boy and the D-Clan aim to develop the world with an opposing ideology. Here, Kujaku says, あたしらの出番じゃないか。Isn't it our time to shine? This implies that SWORD is an organization capable of operating independently of the world government's ideology, and thus they pursue what true justice is. There's so much more to discuss about SWORD, so I'll talk about it in detail in another video on the channel Dusk. After the scene with the members of the SWORD, we got a witness the sword battle. Yes, it's a battle between Zoro and Nasujiro. Here, Zoro used his two-sword style technique, 二刀流 Rashomon. This is the same technique Zoro used to cut the sea train in half when it blocked the Rocketman's path. Incidentally, Rashomon is also the title of the famous work by the early 20th century writer Ryunosuke Akutagawa. In Japanese, Akutagawa Ryunosuke. Yeah, we can see Ryunosuke in One Piece, this dragon. No, this fake dragon. The theme of this novel is the meaning of living and what is good and evil. When Zoro first uses this technique, a similar topic was introduced. てめえの正義もさぞ重かろうが、こっちもいろいろ背負ってんだよ。Your justice must be heavy, but I also carry a lot on my shoulders. It's interesting to note that this chapter, it was Zoro being carried on Jinbei's shoulder. By the way, the technique Jinbei used at that moment is called kataguruma. Literally means shoulder ride. Anyway, like the theme of this novel, Rashomon, this was a moment when Zoro's justice clashed with T-Bone's. And now, Zoro uses technique on Nasujiro, seemingly embodying the very question Vegapunk is posing to the world about what is good and evil. However, this time it wasn't just Rashomon. Before that, Zoro used the term Gokuraku Anyo. This term is derived from the concept of Gokuraku Anyo Jodo, the Buddhism which refers to a supremely peaceful world free from the suffering. This term, Jodo, represents a pure world where Buddhas reside, and those born there transcend the cycle of reincarnation, implying eternal life. This concept fits Nasujiro's perfectly. Despite the fact that their space is more like hell than a pure realm, Nasujiro comes from a space associated with Im, a character that symbolizes a Buddha-like figure. Additionally, he seems immortal, appearing to transcend death. Therefore, Oda-sensei likely added Gokuraku Anyo to the technique Zoro uses against Nasujiro. In fact, in this chapter, the five elders recognize the Iron Giant, saying, ああ、200年前にマリージョアを襲撃した鉄巨人。間違いない。There's no doubt it's the giant that attacked Marijoa 200 years ago. The Japanese wording makes it seem as if they had actually seen this iron giant 200 years ago. By the way, as I predicted in this video, I believe Nasujiro has reached the underworld much like Brook. Therefore, I think the eyes he wields have the same properties as Brook's. It's a chill of the underworld, Yomi no Reiki. The five elders seem to possess immortal bodies, and I believe the reason is closely tied to the underworld. And they both seem to recognize the presence of Kitetsu. Since Kitetsu is called sword, Yoto, they could probably sense its presence. In fact, Zoro felt the presence of Sandai Kitetsu both when he found it in Ipponmatsu's shop and when he was stuck in the chimney. Sandai Kitetsu was made by Kozuki Sukiyaki, and Nidai Kitetsu was crafted by his ancestor, Kotetsu. This suggests that Shodai Kitetsu might also have been made by the Kozuki family. By the way, the 20 souls in front of the empty throne at Marijoa are the souls of the kings who established the world government. Among them is a single Japanese-style sword, like katana. Most Japanese-style swords in One Piece are made in Wano country, Wano Kuni. This implies that one of the original 20 kings or shoguns must have been from the Wano country. The sword Nasujiro wields is likely inherited from that king. Now let's dive into the topic everyone has been curious about. Since the release of chapter 1117, I received many questions and comments on Dawn Dusk about this translation. Just before the broadcast cut off, Vegapunk said the phrase お前さんたちの中に. The sentence continues with も before the transmission is interrupted. Let's explore the possible implication of も in a few different ways with Japanese native speaker. Firstly, as an adverb, も could start phrase like もうすでに already, もし if, もしかしたら maybe or perhaps, もう一人 another person. When used as an adverb, the possibility for the sentence are endless. Some potential sentences include お前たちの中にもう一人のジョイボーイが誕生した。Among you, another joy boy has been born. お前たちの中にもうすでにジョイボーイが誕生している。Among you, joy boy has already been born. Before mentioning the D-clan, Vegapunk was talking about the ancient weapon that destroyed the Lucia. Luffy's awakening as Nika and the spread of his wanted poster happened just a few days prior. It's likely that Vegapunk saw this poster and realized that Joy Boy had been reborn. Yeah, in Japanese, there are a lot of adverbs like もし、もしかしたら、もしかして、もうすでにもう一人, etc. That's why, if you have any opinion, let me know commenting on this video. Now, let's consider the next possibility. If this mo is used as a particle, it could be translated as also or to. This leads to a sentence like among you guys to お前たちの中にも. Up to this point, Vegapunk had been discussing the Roger pirates who knew the truth about the world, so he might have wanted to continue with something like お前さんたちの中にも 真実を知っている者がいれば世界を変えてほしい。Also among you guys, if there are those who know the truth, change the world. These are just examples. I'm also looking forward to hearing your opinions, your thoughts using these hints. Another possibility is that this mo is noun. If Oda Sensei intentionally used mo in the title, it suggests that the noun containing mo might be significant. However, as you may know, in this chapter, mo is written in hiragana, but in the world of One Piece, most of the characters written in katakana. The exception would be Momohige, who has also been written in hiragana, but he is not a character worth mentioning in this broadcast. Similarly, devil fruits like Moku Moku, Mochi Mochi, and Mori Mori are generally written in katakana. Place names like Mokomo Dukedom, Mokomo Kokoku, or Momoiro Island, Momoiro To are also usually written in katakana. So what other Japanese words start with mo? These two words were used a lot in One Piece. Mori, which means forest, and mo, which means algae. Both are indeed important keywords. Shirahoshi, who lives in Fishman Island, particularly longs to see the forest. She even mentions the forest when she comes to marry Joa. In One Piece world, there seems to be gods of the earth, forest, and rain, in addition the sun god. They are all depicted clearly in this chapter. The sunken land, the rain pouring down on the hospital, and the burning forest, and the sun god. By the way, the last time we saw Luffy, he had transformed into Nika, but he seems to have returned to this normal form. Regardless, Shirahoshi is guaranteed to be a key character in the upcoming story, for the forest might hold a key to the Void Century. Of course, the sunken continent likely had forest as well. Another word, mo, which means algae. Yes, this is a word Sanji uses to mock Zoro. But we can't disregard algae itself. Why? Because this brings to mind not only Zoro, but also this character, Gaimon. Yes, the person who fits perfectly with the treasure chest covered in algae. Interestingly, the chapter where Gaimon appears frequently mentions the word One Piece. If the treasure on the final island is underwater, it might be covered a lot of algae. Gaimon was called the guardian of the forest, so forest and algae might indeed be essential elements in unraveling the mysteries of the One Piece. And interestingly, this algae didn't meet another algae. There's one more thing I'd like to clarify on this chapter. In the English version, Vegapunk's speech was translated as "Allow me to deliver a message to those bearing the D name." However, the nuance is different in the Japanese version. Let's focus on the word dengon. This word, dengon, refers to conveying a message on someone else's behalf. This same word was used when Marco asked Nekomamushi to relay a message to Luffy. While it's possible that this is Vegapunk's own message, it's also likely the message beginning with Mo is not from Vegapunk, but rather a message he decoded from a poneglyph intended for the D clan. However, since this broadcast was cut off, the true nature of this message remains unknown. The revelation of what kind of message Joy Boy and others left for the descendants of D seems to be something we'll have to wait for. Lastly, let's talk about one more intriguing point before wrapping up this video. Yes, Blackbeard's reaction. At this moment, Blackbeard's teeth are all intact. The last time we saw Blackbeard with a full set of teeth was when he started the death game on level 6 of Impel Down. During that time, his demeanor and expression were more ruthless than ever. Now I plan to discuss Blackbeard's future move in detail on the channel Dusk. So please stay tuned. Anyway, if you have some questions about translations, let me know commenting on this video. And I'm available for Japanese translation and Japanese products and some marketings in Japanese. I think we will see soon. See you next time.